January 30th, 1945. 511 American prisoners of war are about to be executed by their Japanese captors. They don't know it yet. 6,000 Japanese soldiers surround the camp. 121 U.S. Army Rangers are moving through enemy territory to get there first. They have one night, one chance, and a plan that everyone says is suicide. What happens in the next 15 hours will become the most successful rescue mission in American military history, and not a single Japanese guard will survive to tell their side of the story. This is the Great Raid on Cabanatuan. The camp is called Cabanatuan. It's deep in Japanese-occupied Philippines, 30 miles behind enemy lines. 511 American POWs, the survivors of the Bataan Death March, have been rotting here for 3 years. 3 years of starvation, disease, torture, and watching their friends die. The Japanese guards have told them repeatedly, if American forces get close, if liberation looks possible, the prisoners will be executed. All of them, no survivors, no witnesses. It's not an idle threat. The Japanese are already doing it at other camps as American forces push closer. POW camps are being liquidated, mass executions, prisoners locked in buildings and burned alive. Prisoners marched to the coast, forced onto ships, and the ships deliberately sunk. The Imperial Japanese Army has decided that dead prisoners can't be liberated. Intelligence reaches General Walter Krueger, commander of the 6th Army. Cabanatuan POW camp holds 511 men. Japanese forces are pulling back through that area. The camp will either be evacuated or the prisoners will be killed. Probably killed. Almost certainly killed. Krueger makes a decision. Get them out. Now, before it's too late. He calls in Lieutenant Colonel Henry Mucci. Mucci commands the 6th Ranger Battalion, a unit that's been itching for action. The Rangers are elite infantry, trained for raids and special operations. They've been stuck doing conventional warfare, waiting for a mission that actually uses their skills. Mucci walks into Krueger's headquarters and gets handed the most dangerous assignment of the Pacific War. The briefing is brutal in its simplicity. Cabanatuan camp. 511 POWs, 30 miles behind Japanese lines. 6,000 Japanese soldiers in the immediate area. Maybe more. The camp itself has 223 guards, plus another 500 Japanese soldiers. In the town next to the camp, the odds are catastrophic. The terrain is open. The Japanese own everything between here and there. This is a suicide mission wearing the disguise of a rescue operation. Mucci looks at the intelligence photos, looks at the maps, looks at Krueger. Then he says the only thing a ranger can say when handed an impossible mission. We'll bring them back. Mucci selects 121 rangers for the raid. Not the whole battalion, just the best men for this specific job. He partners them with Alamo Scouts, a reconnaissance unit that's been operating behind Japanese lines for months and knows the territory. And he reaches out to Filipino guerrilla fighters who've been resisting the Japanese occupation. Since 1942, the guerrillas know every trail, every river, every Japanese position between here and Cabanatuan. The plan is insane. Move 30 miles through enemy territory, without being detected. Hit the camp at exactly the right moment. Kill or neutralize every single guard before they can execute the prisoners. Get 511 weak, sick, starving men out of the camp. Move them 30 miles back through enemy territory. Do all of this without losing a single POW. And do it in one night, because if the sun comes up and they're still behind enemy lines, Japanese reinforcements will slaughter everyone. January 28th. The Rangers start moving. They're not taking trucks. They're not taking tanks. They're walking 30 miles through enemy-controlled territory, moving at night, hiding during the day. They've got Filipino guides leading them through paths the Japanese don't patrol. They've got Alamo scouts ranging ahead, marking Japanese positions, finding the safe routes. The first day, they cover 8 miles and hide in a village. The villagers feed them, hide them from Japanese patrols, treat the Rangers like liberating heroes, even though liberation is still miles away and might not happen at all. The Rangers rest during the day, listening to Japanese trucks moving on nearby roads. Hearing Japanese soldiers in villages less than a mile away, night falls. They move again. Another 8 miles. The tension is excruciating. Any moment, a Japanese patrol could stumble onto them. Any moment, someone could make noise. And 6,000 Japanese soldiers will converge on their position. The Rangers are good, but they're not invisible. They're 121 men moving through enemy territory where they have no business being. January 29th. They're close now, less than 5 miles from Cabanatuan. But there's a problem, a big problem. Japanese forces are moving through the area in unexpected numbers. Columns of retreating soldiers, supply convoys, entire units repositioning. The area around the camp is crawling with Japanese troops. The original plan was to hit the camp on the 29th. That's impossible now. Too many Japanese soldiers. The Rangers would be detected before they got within a mile of the camp. Mucci makes the call. They wait. They'll hit the camp tomorrow night, January 30th. But waiting means another day for the prisoners, another day where the Japanese might decide to execute them, another day where disease or starvation might kill someone. Every hour of delay is a roll of the dice with 511 lives. The Rangers spend January 29th hiding in a village less than a mile from the camp. They can see the guard towers. They can hear the guards. They're so close they can smell the camp. And they have to sit there, motionless, silent, watching Japanese soldiers move past their position all day long. One ranger later said it was the longest day of his life, hiding in a hut, listening to Japanese truck engines, knowing that 500 American POWs were dying less than a mile away, and there was nothing he could do. Until nightfall. Inside the camp, the prisoners don't know rescue is coming. They're just trying to survive another day. 3 years of captivity has reduced them to skeletons. The average POW weighs less than 90 pounds. Malaria, dysentery, beriberi, and malnutrition have killed hundreds. The ones still alive are tough beyond measure. But they're not soldiers anymore. They're barely able to walk. Most can't run. Some can't even stand without help. The Japanese guards are getting nervous. American forces are getting close. The camp commandant has orders to evacuate or liquidate the camp. He hasn't decided which. Yet, the prisoners know what liquidate means. They've heard stories from other camps. They know that if the Americans get too close, the guards will machine gun everyone and burn the camp January 30th, the day of the raid. The Rangers finalize their plan. They've done reconnaissance all day. They know the guard positions, the tower locations, the layout of the camp. They know there are 223 guards inside the camp, and another 500 Japanese soldiers in the nearby town. The numbers are still terrible, but at least they're known terrible. The plan has multiple moving parts. The Filipino guerrillas will set up blocking positions on all roads leading to the camp. Their job is to stop Japanese reinforcements from reaching the camp. During the raid, they're outnumbered 20-1, but they only need to hold for 30 minutes. 30 minutes for the Rangers to hit the camp, free the prisoners, and start moving out. The Alamo scouts will take out the guards in the outer positions, quietly, with knives, before the main assault starts. Every guard they eliminate silently is one less guard who can sound the alarm. The Rangers will split into 2 teams. One team hits the front gate. One team hits the back. Simultaneous assault. Overwhelming violence. The goal is to kill every guard in the first 60 seconds before they can react, before they can execute prisoners, before they can call for help. At exactly 1930 hours, as the sun is setting and visibility is dropping, the raid begins. AP-61 Black Widow night fighter buzzes the camp at low altitude. It's a distraction. The guards all look up at the plane. While they're looking up, the Rangers are cutting through the fence. The Alamo scouts have already taken out the outer guards. Knife work. Silent kills. The guards never knew what hit them. The perimeter is open. The Rangers pour through. The assault is violence at a speed the Japanese guards can't process. The Rangers are through the fence and into the camp before the guards realize they're under attack. Rifle fire, bar fire, Bangalore torpedoes blowing guard towers apart. It's not a battle. It's an execution. The Japanese guards try to respond. Some grab weapons. Some try to organize a defense. It doesn't matter. The Rangers are already among them. Close quarters. No mercy. This isn't war. This is vengeance for 3 years of torture, starvation, and death marches. One ranger later described it as the most one-sided fight he ever saw. The Japanese guards were decent soldiers, but they weren't ready for elite infantry hitting them from 2 directions, simultaneously with overwhelming firepower and absolute determination. Guard after guard goes down. Some try to run. The Rangers shoot them in the back. Some try to hide. The Rangers find them. Some try to surrender. The Rangers don't accept surrenders tonight inside the prisoner barracks. The POWs hear gunfire and assume they're being executed. They've been waiting for this moment for months. Some lie down on their bunks to die. Some pray. Some just close their eyes. Then the door bursts open, and instead of a Japanese guard with a bayonet, it's an American ranger yelling, "We're here to get you out. Move. Now." The prisoners don't understand at first. They've been captive for 3 years. Hope is not a familiar emotion. One POW asks if this is real or if he's hallucinating from malaria. The ranger grabs him and physically pulls him toward the door. This is real. We're Americans. We're getting you out. The word spreads through the camp like electricity. Americans. Rescue. Freedom. Men who couldn't walk 5 minutes ago are suddenly on their feet. Adrenaline is a hell of a drug. The Rangers are moving through the barracks, grabbing prisoners, pushing them toward the fence. Some prisoners are too weak to walk. The Rangers carry them, literally throw them over their shoulders and run. The firefight is still going on. Guards are still dying. But now the Rangers are fighting with prisoners behind them, which changes everything. Every second counts. They need to kill the remaining guards and get out before Japanese reinforcements arrive. The Filipino guerrillas are doing their job. On the roads leading to the camp, they've ambushed the first Japanese units trying to respond. They're outnumbered but fighting from prepared positions. They know they can't win a sustained fight. They just need to delay. By the Rangers 10 minutes. 15 if possible. Back at the camp, the last guards are being eliminated. Some are in guard towers. Snipers take them out. Some are in bunkers. Bangalore torpedoes collapse the bunkers with the guards inside. Some are trying to flee toward the Japanese garrison in town. The Rangers cut them down as they run. 29 minutes after the raid started, the last Japanese guard at Cabanatuan is dead. Not captured, not wounded, dead, every single one. 223 guards. 0 survivors. The Rangers made sure of it. Now comes the hard part. Getting 511 sick, weak, barely mobile POWs 30 miles through enemy territory to American lines. The Rangers start organizing the column. The prisoners who can walk are walking. The prisoners who can't walk are being carried. The Rangers are carrying some. Filipino guerrillas are carrying others. Carabao carts are being loaded with the weakest men. The withdrawal begins. The camp is on fire behind them. The Rangers burned. Everything. Guard quarters. Headquarters. Supply buildings. They left nothing the Japanese can use. More importantly, they left a message. This is what happens when you torture American POWs. The column moves through the night. It's slow, agonizingly slow. Men who haven't walked more than 100 feet. Inmates are being asked to march miles. Some collapse. The Rangers pick them up. Some say they can't go on. The Rangers carry them. There's no option to stop. Japanese reinforcements are coming. They can hear trucks, see lights in the distance. The pursuit is organizing. The Filipino guerrillas are still holding the roads. They're taking casualties now. The Japanese are bringing up heavier weapons. But they're holding. Buying time measured in minutes and paid for in blood. Mile by mile. The column moves. The Rangers are in front, in back, on the flanks, protecting the prisoners, ready to fight at any moment. Some of the POWs are crying. Some are laughing. Some are in shock. All of them are free. Dawn is coming. That's bad. Daylight means Japanese planes. Means the enemy can see them. Means nowhere to hide. The column has to reach American lines before sunrise. Mucci is pushing everyone. Faster. Keep moving. Don't stop. They cross the final river just as the sky starts to lighten. American positions are visible ahead. The Rangers are firing flares. Green, the signal. Friendly forces, don't shoot. The American forward units see them coming. A column of walking skeletons supported by Rangers. Someone starts crying, then someone else. Then the word spreads through the American lines. They did it. The Rangers did it. They brought them back. The final count, 511 POWs rescued. Every single one. Not one left behind. Not one killed in the raid. To Rangers, killed in action. For Filipino guerrillas killed holding the roads. 21 Rangers wounded. And 223 Japanese guards at Cabanatuan. 0 survivors. The raid took 15 hours from start to finish. 30 miles in. Hit the camp. Eliminate every guard. Extract 511 prisoners. 30 miles out. All in one night. Against 6,000 Japanese soldiers in the area. Military historians still study this raid. It's taught at every special operations school in the world. The planning, the execution, the cooperation between Rangers, Scouts, and guerrillas, the precision, the violence of action, the absolute commitment to leaving no one behind. But the real story isn't the tactics. It's what happened when the Rangers opened those barracks doors and told men who'd been prisoners for 3 years that they were going home. One POW later said he looked at the Ranger who pulled him out of his bunk and thought he was seeing an angel. Another said he knew in that moment that America hadn't forgotten them, that someone cared enough to risk everything to bring them back. The Rangers never talk about it like they're heroes. When you ask them about Cabanatuan, they talk about the POWs, about how tough those men were, about how they survived 3 years of hell and still had the strength to walk 30 miles to freedom. The Rangers say they just provided the muscle. The POWs provided the courage. But here's what really happened at Cabanatuan on January 30th, 1945. 121 Rangers were told to do the impossible. Get behind enemy lines. Free 500 men. Bring them all back. And those Rangers looked at the impossible mission, looked at each other, and said the same thing every Ranger says when faced with impossible. Rangers lead the way. They did. They led 511 men out of hell and back to freedom. And they made damn sure that every Japanese guard who'd spent 3 years torturing American POWs paid the final price. 0 guards survived. That wasn't an accident. That was a promise kept.